Monkeypox time. We've all been hearing about this. They've been touching it on the news a little bit. So we'll start off. What is monkeypox? It was first discovered in 1958 when two outbreaks of pox-like disease occurred in colonies of monkeys kept for research, hence the name monkeypox. This article says there's an animal virus spreading in the human population, appearing in multiple countries practically overnight. There's a gap in our knowledge about how the virus jumped species from the animal reservoir to the first infected human, and we're trying to piece together how it moved from person to person, contact to contact, and continent to continent. I'll tell you how it moved from person to person. Somebody was doing something with monkeys they weren't supposed to, hence the gain of function. We've heard that many times within the last 2 years. You told me they weren't doing it back then. Somebody was messing with the virus, and somehow they mutated it to be able to spread to humans to get us sick. Is our next pandemic here? Like smallpox and SARS-CoV-2, monkeypox is a respiratory virus that can spread through coughing, sneezing, and potentially just breathing. Well, doesn't that sound familiar? You think the masks are gone? Guess who's coming back? Put your face diaper on. In the U.S., they stopped routinely vaccinating for smallpox in 1972 due to the risks of the side effects that outweighs the risk of the virus. Well, as we learned in the past couple years, they don't care about side effects. Go get it. Go drink your Jim Jones juice. If you don't do it, you're not an American. It's the first time in recent human history that such a large percentage of the population has lacked immunity to these viruses. The bottom line is that unlikely the current outbreak heralds that emergence, we should be vigilant, prepared, rapid, and nimble in our response in the past 2 years. The past 2 years have shown us that anything is possible. So what's the government doing? Wow. Government already ordered 13 million freeze-dried monkeypox vaccines. Why, if this isn't a big deal, why would they order $119 million worth of vaccine with an option to buy another $180 million if they want it? The thing I found interesting is these vaccines isn't going to be manufactured in 2023 and 2024. What's come up in 2024? I don't know. Very suspicious. They're saying it's fatal. 1 in 10 could die if they get it. Most of the symptoms are fever, headache, body aches, exhaustion, and a rash that spreads across the body. We know that number 1 in 10 probably changed to like 8 and 10 after the CDC gets their hands on it. I already said about the freeze-dried version, improves shelf life. This article saying they're supposed to be making it through 2025, so 2023 to 2025. Illness tends to last 2 to 4 weeks, and it's shown to cause death as many as 10% who catch it. Well, all right, let's see what the news is saying about all this.
Has been identified here in the U.S. Health officials say a man in Massachusetts caught the rare virus after traveling to Canada. And new today, the U.S. has ordered millions of dollars.
Sign up for Bed Bath & Beyond's College Savings Pass. Get 20% off every purchase now till move-in day.
Ready to start eating healthier? Meet Kachava. Kachava is the world's
dollars worth of a vaccine protecting against monkeypox. It's not just the U.S. and our neighbors to the north. Other nations like the U.K., Portugal, Spain, and Italy, also Sweden, also reporting cases, which health officials are calling, quote, rare and unusual. So what is monkeypox? It's a virus similar to smallpox. It's usually contracted from contact with an infected small animal, like a rodent. Most cases come out of West and Central Africa. The virus was first identified back in the 1950s in monkeys being used for research. So joining us now is Dr. Anthony Harris, CEO and Medical Director of HFit Health. Dr. Harris, good to talk to you again. You know, why is this outbreak being called rare and unusual? And should we actually be worried, you know, especially because we're entering year 3 at this point of COVID?
Yeah, thank you, Nicole, first and foremost for having me on here. And why we should be concerned is because, as you mentioned, it is unusual to see an outbreak of monkeypox. Monkeypox, as you mentioned, similar to smallpox, but not as easily transmitted as smallpox. And so the fact that we're seeing transmission happen in this population so far, 68 individuals in the locations you mentioned, the UK, Spain, Portugal, now in the US, 1 case in Canada, it's concerning because of the means of transmission being different from what we've seen in the past since the 1950s, which traditionally was from rodent to human. This potentially may now represent communication or transmission from human to human, which is very unusual.
Yeah, very unusual, potentially, you know, very scary there. So we see the pictures, you know, and we see those pox like, and I guess eruptions on the skin. So what are some of the symptoms, the key symptoms that people should notice right away?
You bet. So the early symptom, which is a telltale sign for monkeypox, is what's called lymphadenopathy or swollen lymph nodes. That presents pretty early. And then fever, cough, fatigue set in. One of the things that you just mentioned, the blisters form about 1 to 3 days after onset of the fever. And so that combination looks awfully like smallpox. But in this case, obviously, we're talking about monkeypox, which when we're talking fatality rate or can you die from monkeypox, the answer is yes. And about 1 to 10% is the fatality rate as we know it for monkeypox, obviously far higher than what we've seen with coronavirus or SARS-CoV-2. So that's another reason why it's concerning.
And, you know, you talked about the spread a bit there. Is there any evidence so far that the virus is spreading in a different way, maybe making it difficult to detect?
So research is still ongoing, right? Actually, WHO published in 2020 a paper on looking at the spread and the increase of monkeypox, particularly in the DR of Congo, right? And so the Democratic Republic of Congo. And what they saw was a dramatic increase, in some cases 14-fold increase since the 1980s of monkeypox. And the reason underlying that could be that individuals are not as immune to monkeypox as they once were as a result of smallpox vaccination. That's why we see the ordering of the vaccine, Vaccinia it's called, to help protect against monkeypox. 85% efficacy is what's been seen against monkeypox with that smallpox vaccination.
Yeah, certainly something to keep an eye on. Dr. Anthony Harris, thank you so much.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of News Nation's fact.
So there you go. News is selling the figure already. She had described them, you know, pus-like bumps on your skin. It's amazing the wording they use to try to instill fear in people. And it's funny, we stopped vaccinating for this, and this is, you know, showing up. So none of us has really no immunity to it. Very interesting. Alright, Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's Congresswoman. Some stuff she says is really out there. But a lot of stuff she says makes sense. I know she was fighting for the January 6th people. Her and a couple other from Congress. But how do we know that Gates was involved in this? Well, in November of 21, he did an interview with Jeremy Hunt. That's the chairman of the UK Health and Social Care Committee. Gates did not mention monkeypox in the interview, but warned that governments should prepare for future pandemics and urged the WHO to spend $1 billion a year to form a related task force. Well, who's meeting this week, the 22nd through the 28th, on creating a new pandemic task force with a pandemic tree? Wow, it's the WHO. Is this the first thing the WHO gets to will get to use their task force for? Is it going to be smallpox? Can't go nowhere. You might get it. Alright, let's see what MTG has to say.
Gates. Why is Bill Gates running everything? Why does he get to decide that? You know, Bill Gates, I want to remind everyone, he wants to grow fake meat in a petri dish, and he wants us to drink poop water. So I don't know why we're letting Bill Gates decide our health decisions. But here's the deal. Bill Gates is very concerned about monkeypox because this is something apparently he can make a lot of money off of, and him and his other buddies. But in the blue state of Massachusetts, someone has contracted monkeypox. Perhaps they got it from Canada, from Justin Trudeau's lovely country up there. And then even now they're reporting monkeypox cases in Sweden and Italy. That is disgusting. And it is terrifying. Nasty, horrible, big bubbles of pus on your skin. I mean, clearly nobody wants this. So they're going to have pictures of all of these kind of terrifying images. They're going to show children with this all over their faces. And of course, they're going to be from, I don't know where they're going to be from. And then they're going to tell you, you have to wear a mask because if you get close to anyone's face and they spit on you, you're going to contract this horrible, terrifying disease, monkeypox. But don't worry, you got to go ahead. I know you have a Dr. Fauci pillow that you sleep with every night. We need to order your Bill Gates pillow. You should have a body pillow of Bill Gates, and you can cuddle with it every night because Bill Gates is going to save the day.
Who has a Fauci pillow? I must have been starting that sale because I don't have one. I guess keep your eye out for the Bill Gates pillow. I don't know why we're even listening to what Bill Gates says. Just because he has money doesn't mean he's smart. The Department of Health and Human Services told Axios on Friday that the purchase of the non-related to specific events and instead was part of a standard and ongoing preparedness to respond to a potential smallpox emergency. Wow. That is amazing. Now, governments here are going to come here and save the day. Green insists that Gates wants everybody to get a shot with the new vaccine because COVID-19 has grown old and the public is over the vaccine game amid the current pandemic. I will agree with that. I think the public had enough. The people that wanted to get the vaccine got it. And the people that didn't get it aren't going to get it, no matter what you try to do. They tried to pay you. They tried to give you free weed. They tried everything for you to get it. It's just very interesting how much they pushed for this. She warned the media in an undefined they would try to terrify the public with images of children with all this monkeypox on their faces. I do agree. We heard on the news that, well, you seen the pictures they showed. They always have to show the nasty pictures to get fear going. Because if they don't have fear in you, then they can't control you. And another thing is funny, Gates, about pandemics. Before 2020, have you ever heard of a pandemic? I remember the H1N1 I remember the SARS. I remember all them, and none of them was ever called a pandemic. Even though I think they were just as contagious, if not worse, than what we're supposedly facing now. I don't know why they waited till, well, some of us know why they waited till 2020. I can't say it because I'm on social media, but we know what they did in 2020. We know why they waited until 2020 to basically unleash this. And now they get a taste of power, and they want to keep that power because everybody's sick of this whole mask, stay home crap for the last 2 years. Everybody's had enough. They know it. They're scared. So what are they going to do? They're going to try to release something else. So it's something new. Get new fear. Go get the new shot. Stay home. You can't do this. You can't do that. But yet they can do whatever they want because, I guess just because you have money, it doesn't infect you. I honestly wonder how many of the elite, being people with millions, and the government, how many of them actually did get the jab and it wasn't just saline solution in that needle. We've seen all the videos, oh, look here, take a picture of me, video me, I'm getting my jab, We've seen the one where Biden, when they debunked that, they still had the freaking cap on the needle, and they acted like they were putting it in his arm. That was the best acting ever, but it was also the worst because that was debunked really fast. But how many of them actually received it? Because they know if they say, hey, look, all these people are getting, all the sheep's gonna follow and get it. You ain't gonna get it if Johnny that lives across town, just gets it. No, you're gonna get it after the big shots start getting it. It's just very suspicious to me. We haven't even heard of this word. And now, all of a sudden, it seems like it's going to become an every couple years thing. What are they releasing on us? Are they purposely trying to make the population smaller? Or is it all for control? I guess we already know what most of them answers is. Biden administration already ordered millions of vaccine doses. And there's the nasty picture that's a picture they show. That's on almost every article. It's a kid. You gotta get the, sad kid in there so people start feeling sorry. Then you got Biden coming out. I don't know why we listen to what Biden says. He's so full of crap. The whole administration's worthless. The whole government's worthless. 90% of them needs to go. We have a few that are decent enough that maybe we could keep. But this is what Biden said. He's in South Korea. I don't know if you guys seen the video. I don't have it loaded. Of him. He was walking down the stairs of Air Force One. He had his mask on. By himself. He gets to the bottom of the steps. Starts walking towards the people to greet. And he takes his mask off when he's with the people shaking hands and everything. What the hell's the point of that? This guy does not know where he is, what he's doing. oh, I gotta wear a mask. Well, it's like when you see people driving in their cars alone with their mask on. Now I'm gonna knock you if you gotta wear a mask because your immune system's bad or something. That is fine. That is your choice. That's what you gotta do for you to stay healthy. We've seen masks. I'm sure you've seen masks before 2020 out and about. Every once in a while, you see somebody in the store with a mask. And before 2020, we would never even question that. It would be, okay, that person must have, immune system deficiencies or something, or, has cancer and is getting chemo, something, they want to keep from getting sick, because if they get sick, it could kill them. Well, now 2020 rolls around. Everybody had to wear a mask. You couldn't do anything without it. Stores were only open certain hours. You could only have so many people in the store. You had to be 6 feet apart. And everybody had to run around with their face diaper on the whole time. And the government liked that because they seen how many people they were seeing how many people they could get to follow them. And unfortunately, the majority of the country did. Until we stand up and push back at them and say enough is enough, they're just going to keep on doing this right after another, after another, after another. I just find it interesting that the WHO is meeting this week for this new pandemic treaty that Biden and our government is letting them, do. It basically, the WHO will be in charge of pandemic response. They can declare a pandemic, and we have no control. Our Constitution's gone. You got blue helmets coming in. You got your doors being taped shut. It's like China. I don't know how many of you guys seen images from China. They have tape on the doors. They have caution tape across. They're using this smoke machine to freaking disinfect everything. You think that can only happen over there? No, it's going to be coming to here. You're going to have police and National Guard and UN troops on the street. People always ask me, do you think our police and our National Guard, military, would fire upon citizens? And the answer is yes. Probably at least 90% of them would. They do what they're told without, even if it goes against what they believe. We've seen that in the past 2 years. Some cops stood up and said, nope, that's against what I believe in. I will not do that. But majority of them do it, and they continue to do it. So yeah, the policemen you see walking around, your National Guard, your military, and if the WHO has their way, the UN, they would gladly come kick down your door and take you away because you might have, XYZ disease and put you in some kind of camp. They will not have a problem with that because as long as they have their security of them getting food, them having money, and they're being on the right side of the fence instead of being in the fence, they will do what they are told. Most of you guys don't believe that. I'm telling you, they have no problem at all taking you out. You are just another number, and they'd be okay with that. There will be guys that would stand up and say enough is enough. But unfortunately, them guys that do stand up, will be the ones that are knocked down first. Because in order to have your force comply with everything you say, you get to get rid of the people that don't comply first. Because they will interfere with the people that do comply. They may change their mind by what they say. Them will be the first people they take out. Would be the people that don't agree. I know in Congress, they got this anti-terrorism bill or something they're voting on. I just seen a small video of it. About white supremacists and stuff. They don't even define what it is. It doesn't say nowhere in the bill what it is. So basically, they're leaving that term open. They're letting the FBI pick and choose what a definition of that is and giving them the power to act and kick down your door in the middle of the night, shoot your dog because they're feared for their life, take you away, put you in jail for something that you didn't even do, but they say that you did. All them three-letter agencies of the government have become so corrupt that none of them can be trusted. It's coming, guys. I'm telling you. You guys can... I still see people going on vacation, going to Disney World. Well, I don't know why you would want to go to Disney World. They're woke as crap. But going on vacation, going on sail, cruises. People, wake the hell up. What are you going to do when you come and you can't get no food? What are you going to do when you can't afford the gas to go to work? These gas prices are high. And unfortunately, when they go high, diesel goes high. Who's going to eat the cost of the diesel prices, of the prices it costs for the trucks to transfer the goods from a warehouse to a store? You think the manufacturer's going to eat that cost? Nope. You think the store's going to eat that cost? Nope. You know what they're going to do? They're going to pass that cost on to you. So all of a sudden, your $3 gallon of milk is going to be like $7, $8, $10. Hell, it's easy as hell to go to the store now and easily spend $200 in groceries and maybe walk out of there with 50 items. It's sick. I don't know when people's going to wake the hell up and realize where this country's headed. It's headed down a hole. And if we keep on letting it, there'd be no bringing it back. Anyways, let's see what Biden says. I really don't give a crap what he says because he doesn't have no impact on me at all, but let's hear what he says.
Mr. President, quick question. What have your health advisors told you your level of concern should be about monkeypox in the cases that are in the United States and around the world?
Well, they haven't told me the level of exposure yet, but it is something that everybody should be concerned about. We're working on it hard to figure out what we do and what vaccine, if any, may be available for it. But it is a concern in the sense that if it were to spread, it's consequential. That's all they've told me.
Any message for the new Australian?
You heard it right there. They're trying to spread the fear already. Is this our next lockdown? It seems to be. This is what they're pushing.